up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is September 26th, 2019, and we're back at it again on the charts. So, the pound massacre has begun, and it brought us a lot of profits last night. I didn't even sleep because I was managing my trades, and I think we hit, I want to say, another 200 pips. I think we made around 100 each from pound Aussie and the pound dollar. So um, let's get right into it. We the bias was there. I always felt that the pound was about to drop, and goodness gracious, it did. So let's look at our trade. Now this was our original short when we created the right shoulder, and if we look, this is when we broke the neckline of our head and shoulders. So since this setup is, I'll keep it actually, and what we had was a kind of a opportunity to short again because our very key level 1.23730 came into fruition when we got that close below, and that's when we entered short. Our entry was right around 123.650 ish, and we went as far as 123 flat, so around 60 pips bagged there. Further downside should be expected, but make sure you've taken partials already, and we'll see what happens with the trade. Yeah, just a nice way to go into a Thursday. And pound Aussie, you know how viciously pound Aussie moves. That moved pretty smoothly as well. I think smoother than the dollar. Very simple entry. Explained it in yesterday's session. Coming off our key support region on the weekly and daily time frame. We came down there. We created support at 183.420. We broke that support officially here, and we've dropped 120 pips since then, and we are reacting right now. Carney spoke, and I believe Draghi spoke, but I don't think it was anything major. I've checked around many news platforms and even daily effects, and not much is there. I even checked the Bank of England website, and the last update they have for Carney is on the 24th. So I think we're just gonna give them time to release the official statement. But yeah, nothing too major. We are retracing now. This is why I did say to take your partials and to take like 75 to 80% of your profits, and just have a runner running. I think I have like 0.15% of my original position running, and we're just gonna let it run. I mean, if we pop to the weekly, we can see we have a ways to go for this mega swing trade. If we look at our trading range from this zone to this zone, we can potentially go all the way down here, and so that's where we're bagging on. A nice, possibly 6,000 pips that can be bagged for this move. And I mean, today's session is gonna be pretty short and sweet because we're in profits, or we've already closed out profits. Another trade that continued to play out for us was Aussie CHF. I told you guys last week to hold it, just let a runner run, and I think we covered it briefly on Monday or Tuesday's session, or I think even yesterday. Yeah, where I said we were pretty much 50% of the way there. We could very well react off this level, these highs right here, right at 0.66500 area. We could react from there and go back up. So if you want, you can take your profits here, and we came pretty close. You gotta look at these areas as zones rather than specific price points. The reason being is because my line is here, but it could very well be up here, and I think that would be a better line. But you can see we've tapped off it perfectly. This is why you will see from time to time, let me just move this down. From time to time, I actually draw my zones like this. and I do this on the higher time frames because that way I can capture as many wicks as I can. But nonetheless, this trade brought over like 100 or 110 pips. Currently, I think it's at like 60 or 70. So bag your profits. Don't get greedy. We had gold treat us with 100, and our original pound US dollar. USD yen, stopped this out. I think it was 60 pips. I was a bit kind of agitated about this trade. Transcripts came out and we got blown out of the water. Can't really predict that stuff, but it's not an excuse. I don't think it's gonna go long anytime soon, but sucks to suck. We did catch the first move, which was 28 pips, and then pound yen 30 pips, but we both got stopped out at entry, and pound yen dropped. I actually entered it again last night. I didn't tell you guys to enter it just because we were already overly exposed, but pound yen dropped like crazy. It brought me another 100 pips. And when you become your own trader, you start to become a shot caller. So if we look, here was our original pound, I think pound yen trade. We got 30 pips. We got stopped out at entry, but since the overall analysis didn't change, I mean, you can tell the analysis is still down. I entered again, and then I got around 100 pips. So I'm just gonna let it run. I think I'm gonna get booted out at entry right now. But that will just provide us with another opportunity if we come back up here at the trend line. And this trend line meets at our hourly support, which is great. So if we get a rejection off there, we can go lower. So pretty simple. I'm gonna check the chat, make sure all is well, say what's up to the peeps. If you guys have any questions, shoot them in the chat. And sometimes a certain feature isn't working or it's not loading, just refresh the page. Should be good to go. Today's Thursday. This week really flew by. Really flew by. Tomorrow's gonna be Friday, so tomorrow we're gonna be just recapping what went down. Potential trade setups. I'm gonna let you guys let me know what you see on the charts. If there's anything to look at. Could I look at Kiwi yen? What's up, Jared? Could I look at Kiwi yen? Sure thing. We haven't traded Aussie, the New Zealand dollar, in quite some time, actually, have we? And I think there was fundamentals for New Zealand yesterday. Or maybe Tuesday. Right. Cash rate, okay, the rates are the same. Alright, cool. NSD yen. I haven't analyzed this pair, at least not on this chart, so we'll go from top to bottom again, the regular top-down analysis. So we are approaching some support here. So back at it again with the blue zone. To draw that, just go to your tools here. You usually see a paintbrush, just bring up the rectangle. You can make it any color you want. I just think blue is easier to see through. So a pretty decent support. Rebounds here, resistance multiple times here, and we're currently sitting on it. So nice. Can I draw any trend lines of significance? Maybe. But I really don't like drawing these kind of trend lines because it's not. If you draw this kind of trend line, it's not really clean because you can see like you had an up move here, but you had a kind of a down move here, up move here, a down move here, and then you get a wick touch here. That's not really a clean trend line. Usually you want higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So yeah, I'm actually gonna remove this. It's not really serving any purpose for us. Here's one we can draw though that does make sense. Yeah, so this makes sense. This is a clean trend line, and we actually have a series of videos on our portal. Where is it? Intro. Where did it go? Yeah, so Forex Trading 101. We have what is a trend line and how to spot a channel. Also, what is a pip. So you can watch these where I go into basically how to draw a trend line and the rules, but for those that know, this is a pretty nice trend line. We're capturing, you know, lower highs and lower lows pretty consistently. So yeah, we had a third touch here, and before we go any lower, I'm just gonna draw a weekly zone here as well, just because if we do go long, this would be a nice target region. Okay, so I don't see anything else. Actually, yeah. So since we're kind of sitting on support and we can easily flick down this way, I want to look for levels on the left that could be possible take profit area. So I'm just going to expand out. Definitely this area right here, and maybe down here as well. So near term, I'm looking at possibly, that's a nice level. So 60.635 if we were to swing short. Okay, going to the weekly. Let's see if anything has changed. And on the weekly, you can always adjust your levels. I think this is good for now. We can have another level down here, but looking to the left, we can see this support kind of come into fruition, especially here and here. And if we zoom in, what has happened in the past is when we have, let me try to zoom in here. Whoa. My bad, guys. In the past, when we did have a closure below the support region, the pound yen went to make lows. Obviously, this is a pretty significant weekly closure, but I believe on the daily time frame, you can probably see a closure below and then a move down. And you know, we can see resistance again. That's come into, you know, this region as acted as resistance. And similarly, when we did have, you know, a break of these highs, we did go long. So for pound yen, if you look at recent price structure, I'd say my bias is bearish. Two reasons. I think, yeah, two reasons, because I'm pretty sure the fibs will work out. But one reason is we had the initial break and closure below our support region. We had these green candles to come back and retest this sort of price area, right? Because what could happen is in a retest, could either, you know, respect the support and go back along, or it can retest this area and reject and go back down, right? Here right now, it's looking like the second option, the move down, is more likely, because instead of going back up, we've kind of come back to this zone. It could very well just be a retest, you know, full, you know, a retest, you know, a come back down to support as another retest, and then you go long. So that's why you always wait for the confirmation candle. And the confirmation candle for this trade would be a candle that closes below, ideally below this previous low. So if we get a candle closure, you know, somewhere down here, we're in a pretty much a risk-free trade, basically on autopilot, going to 635. So this weekly candle closure would be pretty important. Let's go down to the daily, see if there is a, you know, an intraday short. We're gonna just mark this past low down. And as I go through this, Jared, let me know what you think, or what your bias is on it. Yeah, so some shooting stars are being printed here, but I wouldn't really put too much emphasis on that. Pretty simple setup here, actually. You can just use a breakout strategy. So here's what we'll do. You want multiple confluences when you're at a support area, you know, a touchy area. You don't want to get faked out. And so what we can do here is actually draw a trend line. So we're just going to draw a trend line like this. Okay. So now what we're looking for on the smaller time frame, on the daily time frame, is a closure below this blue region. Okay. If we can get that, we can get a possible move down to 66,284. Right. If you look in the past, when we did that, we went, I think 60 to 70% of the way there, but that's still a nice amount of profit. And if you look, it was pretty much virtually a zero drawdown entry. On the flip side, for longs, you can technically go long right now if you want to, because your risk to reward would be pretty tight here as well. So let me show the long first. And you can go to these highs as a take profit. So Um, boom, right? Now this is a pretty good intraday setup. I mean, not intraday, but you can call this probably swing. But if you look in the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it took 6 days to do this previous move. Could happen quicker, but it's a decent setup for long, right? Obviously the trend is still down. It's just what could happen is, since we've created this this previous lower low, we have created a higher high. This could just be a higher low before we make a new higher high. So play the percentage. The best entry for longs, I believe, would probably be on the 4-hourly. Yeah, so on the 4-hourly, it's pretty simple now. To go long and get the best entry, I want to break and close above 68.100. Okay, we've wicked through that region. We've never got to close above. So let's get a close above. Our stops may be down here. Take profit to the previously mentioned zone. And let's see what we're in for this trade. 2.21. I think this would be the best long scenario, Jared, for the for NSD yen. But you have to remember, fundamentally, the yen is still acting as a safe haven, and I believe yesterday U.S. and Japan came out and said they're on the path to making a trade deal, getting that done. So definitely the yen should be showing strength over time, but we'll see. The trade war still going on, so technically this is what we're looking for. Longs, shorts, obviously, maybe when we get that close below this blue region, we're obviously going to get the break of the trend line, and we can have a short to 66.284, and having a take profit somewhere here on the way there, basically. So hopefully this makes sense. I haven't really touched the NSD in quite some time, though. Let me know if that's what you want to do. Hey Igor, what's up? So yeah, any last minute pair recommendations? I do want to look at CAD CHF just because it's one of my favorite pairs to trade. And what do you know? There is a short setup. So let's actually go to the daily. Because if you guys remember, we actually swing shorted this before. We just took our profits, I believe, at this first take profit. It could definitely go lower. CAD CHF is panning out. If you can see, it can definitely go lower. Yeah, it could. Let me go back to the 4-hourly to show you guys what I was seeing. But on the 4-hourly, probably the short entry has been passed. But a simple short off resistance was pretty much what you needed to do here. We made a series of highs. We had a nice shooting star, and we're going down lower. 0.74500 is probably where CAD CHF will go. Obviously, our entry is pretty much missed. We're halfway there. But if we do get a close below, we could probably go lower. I think we're up probably, let's see, 280, 250 for the week. And that's a rough guess. 270, we'll see. So we still have the rest of today and tomorrow to trade. I don't want to force any issue. Let's see what is happening tomorrow. U.S. dollar core durable goods and personal spending. Okay, so basically a U.S. dollar fundamental day. So probably nothing too enticing right now. Euro. So Euro has stalled at some support, 1.09280. I wouldn't go long. I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna break that support. If it does break that support, I will call an intraday short to our final target, 1.08600. If we get that break, I would not be shocked if we go there. And if tomorrow's data comes out better than expected, let's see the forecast. We'll do real good. So forecast is looking like, because it's going to become better than expected here, less than forecasted here. It's going to be mixed, so we'll see. Obviously, if everything comes out better than expected, we can have this move play out within a few hours. So that's a potential setup. I'll see is trading with the trend. So yeah, pretty nice and simple session. Are you guys saying the stream stop? I'm getting green lights over here. Please let me know. If anything, you guys could refresh the page and try again. Session's pretty much done with. Nothing else to cover. Yeah, I'm getting green lights all throughout here. But yeah, so this is another live session. Be on the lookout for any last minute trades I send out on Telegram. Keep an eye out for the Euro USD short. And we'll let Aussie CHF, Pound, Aussie, and Pound Dollar just play out. You know, stops at entry, profits has been taken, small runners running. So tomorrow we're gonna do a weekly recap as always. Kind of look at what's gonna happen next week. I think those sessions help us a lot because you know our short bias for the pound was there from last Friday all the way through where we are today. So let's keep things rolling. We're on a streak. I hope you guys are enjoying the session. When this video gets processed, hopefully it's not lagging. But I'm getting green, you know, bars here, so it should be good. And yeah, this is another live session. I am RP Forex. I'm logging off. Take care and have a great day, guys.